One night, one drink, one mistake, and her body started rotting while she was still alive. Nobody knew she was slowly turning into a zombie. The movie opens one night in a morgue, where we see a man getting intimate with a corpse that has a biohazard symbol tagged on it. After that, he proceeds to wash the body and handle an empty test tube. Music. In the next scene, we see a young woman named Samantha who has just broken up with her girlfriend Nikki. She arrives at a party, but before entering, she leaves a voicemail for Nikki with whom she is still in love. Samantha meets the party host Alice, who is excited to see her, especially since Nikki is not with her. Samantha is then approached by a guy named Riley, who turns out to have been in love with her for a long time. He asks about where her girlfriend is, but Samantha gets uncomfortable and walks away from him. Next, she comes across another music friend, Zane, who offers her some drugs, but Samantha refuses. She then approaches Alice, who offers her vodka shots to relax, and Samantha refuses at first, but eventually agrees due to pressure. Later, when she becomes very drunk, she is approached by the same man who was violating the corpse in the earlier scene. He introduces himself as BJ and gives her a spiked drink, which she accepts. They begin chatting, and she tells him that she isn't interested in men and has a girlfriend. Next, Samantha blacks out due to the alcohol, after which the man takes her to his car and proceeds to take advantage of her. Poor Samantha, with what little energy she has left, begs him to stop, but the man refuses and continues violating her. The next afternoon, Samantha wakes up at her mom's house with an extreme hangover. She then listens to a voicemail from Nikki, who tells her she'll see her when she has time. Afterward, she opens her closet and checks on the beautiful purple flower she's been working on. Later, she comes across her mom, Nancy, who worries about her well-being. Nancy asks if she has received a letter from the flower contest committee, but Samantha says no and heads out. Hours later, she meets Nikki at a restaurant and tells her how she is hungover from the party last night, but doesn't reveal anything about the man. It's clear that Samantha is still in love with Nikki and tries to win her back, but Nikki doesn't seem music interested. That night at home, Nancy invites Samantha to have dinner together, but the girl only gets agitated and refuses. She threatens that she will get a hotel room to get away from her mother's stupid rules, but Nancy points out that she knows Samantha doesn't have money for that. It turns out that after Nikki kicked her out, Samantha has been living there, but she swears it's only temporary. She then suddenly gets a stomach cramp, but doesn't think much of it and heads to her room. The next morning, Samantha wakes up and finds her bed and underwear stained with blood, prompting her to rush to the bathroom. She then shockingly sees veins on her stomach, but doesn't think much of it and takes a shower, assuming she is just on her period. Later, she heads to work, when she gets a call from Alice, who reveals that the cops visited her because they are looking for a man named Brent Jaffe, aka BJ, who attended her party. Alice has no idea who he is and asks her if she has met anyone by that name, but Samantha says no and hangs up. Later, she arrives at the restaurant where she works, where Riley has come to see her, which annoys her a lot. After briefly chatting with him, Samantha goes to attend to another customer, but something bizarre happens when she starts to hear a loud noise in her ear and can't even hear their order. She goes to the washroom to calm herself, but the noise music doesn't stop and she finds herself heavily bleeding again despite using a tampon. After the noise stops, Samantha continues attending to the customers, but she experiences severe abdominal pain and collapses. Later, she arrives to see a doctor who examines her and informs her that she seems to have a severe ear infection. He notices the rash on her abdomen and asks if she has been intimate with a man unprotected. Samantha tries to deny it at first, but eventually reveals she was involved with a man 2 days ago. She then shows the rashes on her private parts, so the doctor determines she must have contracted an STD and prescribes some music creams. Later, Samantha goes to visit Nikki and brings her a bottle of wine, saying it is their 10th month anniversary. She then tries to seduce Nikki, but the latter refuses, telling her they should give each other space. A disappointed Samantha decides to leave for dinner with Alice, which Nikki doesn't like, as apparently Alice also wants to sleep with Samantha. During this conversation, Samantha checks her mail and learns that she has been accepted into the flower showcasing contest, which excites her very much. Later, Samantha arrives for her dinner with Alice, during which Alice notices that she looks so bad and asks what is wrong with her eye. Samantha goes to the bathroom to check and is horrified to see that one of her eyes has red. When Alice arrives to check, Samantha says it's just an allergic reaction and asks if the police caught the guy, BJ. Alice says no and reveals how the cops have issued an alert about him everywhere, like he is some sort of child molester. Later, at home, Samantha applies lotion to her private parts, and when she gets up, a worm comes out of her, which she doesn't notice. She then brushes her teeth, and one of her molars ends up detaching, which horrifies her. She feels nauseous and continues vomiting blood, which causes her mom to rush to her aid. Nancy suspects she is pregnant, but Samantha denies this and informs her that she has been selected for the flower contest. The next morning, Samantha wakes up in the bathroom, where we notice both her eyes are red and the bathroom is covered with blood. She needs to take a shower and discovers there is no hot water. However, Her mother arrives and notices her burning her hand in scalding water and pulls her away. Later, Samantha finishes her bath, and we see that her veins are spreading further across her abdomen. Before leaving, her mother notices that she is going bald and asks her what is happening to her. It turns out Samantha used to be a drug addict, so her mom asks if she is using again, but Samantha denies it and leaves. Later, she decides to go to the hospital, but her boss insists she come to work until they get her replacement. With no other choice, she heads to the restaurant while looking like a corpse, where she makes a salad and serves a couple. Her boss then notices her bad state, so he contacts another guy and tells Samantha she can leave when the replacement comes, but they suddenly hear the couple outside shouting, and shockingly, they have found dead nails in their food. The panicked boss tries to calm the situation while Samantha exits the restaurant in embarrassment. Outside, she comes across Riley, who has come to see her again, and upon noticing her bad state, offers to take her to the hospital, which she refuses. Here, he shockingly reveals that he had seen her that night with the strange man the police are looking for, but she accuses him of stalking her and threatens to report him before storming off. Later, while Samantha is in the hospital, she gets a call from Alice, who says the police have managed to capture BJ. Now, they are looking for a list of people who came in contact with him, but Samantha says she has no idea and hangs up. She then meets the doctor who examines her eyes and suspects she may have contracted a venereal disease but cannot do anything about it until he has her test results. He only advises her not to get in contact with anyone until the test results arrive as it could be contagious. Frustrated, Samantha goes to meet her friend Zane and asks him for some drugs to relax. Zane offers her some drugs and shortly after Alice also appears and is terrified by her friend's state. Here, Samantha finally tells her friends how she had slept with the mysterious man, BJ, that night, and ever since then she has been feeling sick. This panics Alice as she tells her to go to the police and tell them everything, but Samantha refuses as she doesn't want Nikki to find out. When Alice continues to pressure her, Samantha accuses her of trying to sabotage her and Nikki's relationship and storms out in anger. Later, Samantha arrives home where Nancy approaches her with a doctor as she believes her daughter is doing drugs again. Samantha tries to get away from them, but when they refuse to let her go, she removes her glasses to reveal her horrifying eyes, which scares them. Samantha then leaves with her flower, which she has been growing for months, but it has already withered. When she arrives at the competition venue, she is denied entry because of her horrible appearance and the poor condition of her flowers. Depressed, Samantha goes to see Nikki, but the latter refuses to let her in as it turns out Alice has told her everything. Nikki is disappointed that Samantha slept with a man and she thinks Samantha is not a lesbian but just confused. Nikki even says she has someone else in her life and tries to shut the door, but Samantha forcefully slams the door in Nikki's face, injuring her. She then climbs on top of Nikki and strangles her to death while declaring that she loves her. Next, she arrives at Alice's house where she accuses her of being jealous, because of which her relationship with Nikki is now over. Alice says she was just trying to protect her, but Samantha believes she did all this to sleep with her and tells Alice she can now have her. The two then begin kissing and shockingly, Samantha vomits blood into Alice's mouth, causing her to be horrified. She gets scared and tries to call the police, but Samantha stops her by biting her neck and then ends her life by her with a heavy object. Now, having lost all her sanity, Samantha calls Riley and tells him that she wants someone to talk to and invites him to Alice's house. Riley agrees easily while Samantha puts on a pretty dress from Alice's closet and also applies some makeup. When he arrives, he finds her face covered with hair and she reveals how she and Nikki are no longer together and tries to seduce him. He hesitates at first but eventually gives in to his desire and the two start getting intimate. Riley says he hasn't brought any protection, but she assures him everything will be fine. During their intercourse, Riley remarks that he feels unusually wet and a tingling sensation inside her butt. Doesn't pay much attention to it. However, he suddenly feels something moving, and when he looks down, a disturbing mass of bloody maggots falls out of Samantha's private parts, leaving him completely disgusted. The panicked man rushes to the bathroom where he notices a large amount of blood on his private area. But the even more shocking moment comes when he discovers Alice's dead body in the bathtub. Meanwhile, Samantha is driving on the road and calls her mom to tell her that she needs help. Nancy agrees and asks her to pull over and wait until she arrives. Music, however, Samantha ignores her and continues driving, but soon a very high-pitched sound begins to overwhelm her and causes her to lose consciousness, which leads to a car crash. Later, when Samantha wakes up, she has shockingly turned into a full zombie, revealing that what she contracted was not an STD but a zombie virus. She exits the car while the police order her to stop, and by now, Samantha has lost her voice and can only grunt like a creature. Nancy also arrives at the scene and begs the officer not to hurt her daughter. When Nancy calls for her daughter to come to her, Samantha suddenly lunges at her to attack as the movie comes to an end.